Today is December 20th. Today's quote is entitled 10%. Prabhupada once explained that 10% of the people will automatically become Krishna conscious. The devotee asked that if 10% will become Krishna conscious, why do we need to do anything? Prabhupada replied that if you preach, why not 100%? So it appears that Prabhupada is saying that the way the world is going, the way things are going with our Krishna consciousness movement, there will be influences that will cause people to become Krishna conscious. 10% of the world, that's 1 out of 10 people. That's amazing. So this devotee was thinking, well, if it's kind of set in motion automatically, like a prediction, so to speak, why do we need to do anything? It's just going to happen, like it's automatic, it's destined, whatever. Then Prabhupada, he said that Prabhupada had his cane and he pointed his finger at him like this. It was on top of the cane, and he said, but if you preach, why not 100%? In other words, if you take it seriously to preach and use your intelligence to spread Krishna consciousness, potentially we could make the whole world Krishna conscious, or at least why not try to make the world Krishna conscious? Now, there was another time Prabhupada was asked, is it actually true every town and village? And Prabhupada said, well, that will depend on the preachers. Another time, preaching was not successful in a certain part of the world, and the devotees were saying, well, these people, they're not taking to Krishna consciousness. So they were blaming the people, and Prabhupada said, is it their fault or is it your fault? Now, it's true that in some parts of the world, people take more to Krishna consciousness than other parts of the world. But Prabhupada wanted us to think, well, maybe there's another way to do it. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better strategy. He wanted to take that responsibility upon our shoulders. When Ramakrishna mission was becoming very popular in India, at that time, the Gaudiya Math was becoming more and more powerful. And the more powerful they became, the less influence the Ramakrishna mission had. And it was almost stopped because of the bold preaching of Gaudiya Math. Then later on, the Gaudiya Math weakened after the departure of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and then the Ramakrishna mission became more powerful. So we can see things are not exactly set in stone, but the more we make an effort to use our brain, or as Prabhupada said, strain our brain to spread Krishna consciousness, the more people will take up Krishna consciousness. So this is how we're supposed to think. And that's why Prabhupada said the Acharya adjusts according to time, place, and circumstance. What is workable or favorable in one culture may not be workable or favorable in another culture. And so we adjust accordingly. And so we, as devotees, we're always thinking, what are the better ways that we can inject Krishna consciousness? Now, one devotee was just telling me that his spiritual master is preaching in a certain way. And it's exactly how he was preached to when he was a younger devotee. And the results are not always as good as they would like them to be. And the younger devotees had to explain that millennials don't think the way you thought when you were a younger devotee. And so certain things that you say that were attractive to you when you were younger actually turn them off. They don't want to listen. They won't go further in Krishna consciousness. So you have to be sensitive to the mentality of people. Now, maybe their mentality is contaminated. Whatever the situation, we want to get to them. So if what we're saying doesn't get to them, then we think, what do we need to do? How do we have to get in the side door, the back door? How do we get to their heart with Krishna consciousness? So that's the way Prabhupada trained us. Strain your brain, adjust accordingly. Do what you have to do to get that message, to get that katha, to get people in an environment where they can open up and chant and hear and associate with devotees. Because if they chant, hear, and associate, they'll become Krishna conscious. But we want to create environments that are favorable. We want to speak in a way that people open up, that people can listen, that people can be inspired to practice. So therefore, Prabhupada's saying, yeah, why not think the 100% of the world? Why don't we think at least that's our goal? If I try for 100%, yes, I'll fail, but I'll get more than if I just try for 10% and let the 10%, or let the 10% just happen automatically. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.